Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome content. What's up guys? So after playing the Battlefront II Beta, which was, by the way, extended until Wednesday for all of you uninformed clone troopers, I think I've seen enough of the beta to give my final opinion on it. So first off, my first impression was that it was great. Beyond great. Everything the first one should have been. The more I kept playing it, of course, I started to notice things present in most betas, the glitches, the bugs, and all of that. But I do have to give them extreme credit because the few bugs that I did notice, it was fixed during the beta. That's pretty fast. So that being said, the ground combat is absolutely fantastic. The star cards make a return, but they return as class specific items now, and they provide for a far more team focused and balanced gameplay situation. The cards that each respective class gets is pretty well done and fits almost perfectly. I had a chance to play as all of the classes and I found that I actually enjoy all of them, though Clone Troopers heavy class tends to get a lot more battle points, so I kind of spent more time with them on the clone side. The only class I would say I had an issue with is the officer, because I feel like he should get more points for his team buffs, especially since the battle point system heavily weighs towards playing the objective. The Assault on Theed game mode is fun, though it is pretty easy to win as a clone, so hopefully they put like a small health buff on the MTT phase. The rest of the mode is fun, and it's such a huge improvement once again on the focus of objectives in this game. After the first Walker Assault-like phase, whatever the health remaining is for the MTT goes right into the tickets for the droids, so it's more important than ever to keep playing the objective aggressively and not let up, because the more like you let the objective slip, the higher your chances of losing the match in the long run, and I absolutely love that concept. Speaking of the battle point system, leaning toward objectives, that reminds me how awesome the battle point system is, as well as the units you can spend them on. The battle droids are super fun and way more powerful than you would think. The ground vehicles, same way. Almost everything is worth the investment of battle points, not just the hero. Save for one or two things. I'm looking at you, LAAT gunship. But for the most part, the special units can really do some damage and are well lore respected, which I appreciate. Then there's the heroes. Making them mostly lore accurate while still being fun is a huge challenge, but I feel like they actually did it. We don't know too much about Rey and her Last Jedi powers right now, but what she can do reflects exactly kind of what we've seen and what a Jedi in training can do. Maul, on the other hand, is aggressive and fast. While not being able to block, he is a great gap closer, which makes sense for him. Han is pretty much the same as he used to be, but he was already lore accurate, so I'm not really going to go into him. But Boba now feels like a bounty hunter with his slightly increased jetpack speed and rocket barrage, concussion missiles, and helmet scanning. He is definitely my favorite hero in the beta. I even kept a match in overtime for like 3 whole minutes at 180 max health, winning the match with a 34 kill streak in the throne room, which is super small. So safe to say, Boba feels like the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter now. Oh, so good. Also, force powers work on other Jedi and Sith, and I think that needs a little bit of fine-tuning because I don't think there's a way to block them as of right now, but I definitely think you should be able to block force powers as a fellow force user, but it's still light years away from the silly stuns we had before when you hit another hero back in the other Battlefront. So basically, ground combat feels and plays as it should, save for some minor tweaks, and that's great news seeing as though the game isn't even released yet. But what about space combat? Ooh. All I have to say is that if you think I love the ground combat, I have to say space combat is 10 times more fun than that. The visual, sounds, ships, everything has been perfected. Way more skill involved, as you can now roll and perform fast evasive maneuvers, which, by the way, there's no more auto maneuvers anymore, it's all manual, including the lock-on. So now you really are in the pilot seat. The ships are all lore accurate down to the rebel ships having deflector shields, but not on activation anymore. It's literally just a deflector shield on top of your health that goes down before your ship actually takes damage, and it recharges back up on its own if you don't get hit for a while. The objectives for space combat are really fun, multi-stage objectives similar to the ground combat. While you can't go into the ships and disembark, the objectives are still fun, and the multi-stage really just makes it just as good personally. The hero ships are once again, I feel, lore accurate. Boba's seismic charge is huge, and that sound is just, base god amazing. I've never loved dying so much to Boba before as I do now. The Falcon is a powerhouse with a huge amount of health. Maul's ship specializes in stealth with the ability to cloak and adds a very different feel to combat. Poe Dameron has pretty normal stuff like BB-8 repair and torpedoes, but extremely powerful blaster cannons on his custom ship, allowing some nice dogfighting while marking enemies for his team. Poe Dameron is definitely my favorite ship for the space combat. I don't know why, but he just wrecks, just like the movies. Ship combat feels extremely fun, and I think it actually might be my favorite mode next to Heroes vs. Villains. As far as other stuff, such as like the sound, which is great, and the voice acting for clones and droids, came straight from the Clone Wars TV series, so it definitely will immerse you when you're fighting those battles, especially if you're a fan of the Clone Wars saga. The Theed citizens are running away from the battle zone at the start, and there's plenty of stuff going on to look at, so that's definitely a plus. I definitely feel like we could get a live Rancor this time in Jabba's palace instead of a dead, rotting one. The Clone and First Order Troopers armors look so sleek, and if you have a PS4 Pro with a 4K TV, I'm sure you were in heaven for the beta. Overall, I would say it's a great beta. I've said this one would be better than the last one, but they've definitely exceeded my expectations by far, and I would say if you haven't pre-ordered or tried the beta, I would definitely encourage you to now. This is definitely everything Battlefront 1 should have been, and this is everything Star Wars should be. Remember to check out my other stuff right here and enter my giveaway for Star Wars The Last Jedi movie tickets coming out in December, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.